Hey everyone, welcome to Adam.
And I'm Bruce.
Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to the Nuclear Nintendo Roundup.
Nintendo.
Exclamation point.
Yes, it's apparently your one spot on the internet for everything Nintendo, since nothing else is happening.
So let's get into the Nintastic Nintendo news. Are we screw attack? What's happening?
Pretty much. Nintendo broadcast a spontaneous Nintendo Direct yesterday, updating us on a whole slew of games that aren't called Zelda.
Actually, that's not true, Bruce.
Okay.
Zelda Twilight Princess HD, which stands for High Definition, was in there.
Don't do it, Bruce.
Who cares?
Also, Hyrule Warriors Legends.
Let's get on with it and run down all the biggest info. And while Nintendo covered a ton of games in yesterday's Direct, we're mostly going to touch on the info that we thought was interesting, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, otherwise we could talk about Animal Crossing amiibo cards.
Woo!
Or what if we tempt you with an Isabelle amiibo?
Shut up!
So the Direct opened with a recap of Star Fox Zero that has apparently undergone some rework since we last saw the game at E3. Nintendo Luminaire Shigeru Miyamoto opened the demonstration by apologizing for the delay, as he is wont to do, and declaring that the game is now ready for release. As Miyamoto describes, quote, "We made this game to be an authentic action game, the kind I haven't worked on for a long time." And he's been tied up with Wii shit for a while. Waggling stuff, Wii music. Oh boy. Apparently the game has converged towards Star Fox 64 instead of the more linear ordeal that was demonstrated at E3 2015. Left a lot of people a little nonplussed, a little underwhelmed.
Wasn't the N64 one kind of linear? It just had a path?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a rail shooter, so it's linear to a degree, but so the demo at E3 didn't have branching at all. It was just one shot straight through the game.
Okay.
Made some people upset. But now, just like Star Fox 64, the game will have branching paths and warps that create incentives to play the game more than once.
Beat that game in like 30 minutes.
If you're good.
I was good. I went through the waterfall and everything. So as Game Informer reports, fan criticism is what spurred Nintendo to reorchestrate the game to add this amount of gameplay depth.
Miyamoto explained to Game Informer that, quote, "The biggest reason for the delay is that we didn't set out to create a Star Fox game to begin with. We started creating a bunch of different experiments that use the gamepad and the TV with two-screen gameplay."
After putting the Star Fox brand on it, Nintendo found that, and this will blow your mind, gamers expected it to play like a Star Fox game.
Whoa! That's weird, right? Well, at least Nintendo caught up, and the game will finally release on April 22nd.
2 days after Hitler's birthday.
But that's not all, right, Lawrence?
That's not all! Star Fox Zero will ship with another game called Star Fox Guard, which looks like an experimental game with Star Fox branding slapped on it. So they didn't learn their lesson for too long, apparently, but I guess they're using that. They're using the regular Star Fox to slip in a new thing. Snark aside, I guess it looks like a cutesy twist on tower defense. You place your turrets in this maze area, and then you have to switch between them on the gamepad. You get this like grid that looks like security cameras. They say it'll have 100 missions, which is a large number.
Sure.
And then you can also create your own and upload them to the internet, because Nintendo figured out what that is finally.
That's good on them.
Miyamoto concluded by dropping an epic meme on you.
Get good at changing those cameras.
We will try to get good, Miyamoto-san. We'll try.
It could have just been a bad translation. He speaks in Japanese, the other guy was speaking in English. Think about it. The other biggest new announcement in this Direct is yet another way for Nintendo to sell you games that you have already bought 10 times over.
I love Nintendo.
We all do. So much we'll keep buying their games.
Super Nintendo games are coming to the new Nintendo 3DS, only the new one, for whatever reason.
So got any more bullets in that gun?
I don't really know.
Okay. So this actually launched yesterday with selections from the launch of the original Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings. Another trio hits March 24th. That's going to be Super Mario Kart Earthbound and Donkey Kong Country Earthbound, Lawrence. Earthbound.
Yeah! I've already played it through like 18 times.
We'll do it again.
Final announced wave of games releases April 14th. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 2.
6 days before Hitler's birthday.
And before you ask, or after if you already did, no, you don't get these games for free if you bought them on the Wii U. You gotta buy them again, you son of a bitch.
Welcome to Nintendo Land.
Now we're entering the Lawrence corner of this godforsaken episode. This whole thing wasn't the Lawrence corner?
No.
Because the Wii U is going to get a JRPG about being a Japanese pop idol.
Oh my
right,
God.
Lawrence?
Yeah, so apparently in this game you wear pretty dresses, you sit on a big white horse, you run around Japan, all kinds of other anime bullshit. Man, I'm looking forward to it. It's called Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE, which is pronounced sharp FE.
Right.
Because it's music, I get. Oh, it makes sense now.
Sure.
Makes
yeah.
sense.
Look, I get it, Lawrence. I get it.
So the game's funky, man. You're like on a stage picking actions from a menu and fighting people with music in front of a crowd.
I don't like you.
I'm gonna play it.
Bruce is arguing with the TV
I
again.
don't like you.
I'm gonna buy it and play it.
As Lawrence, let me tell you, are you interested in seeing Tails prance around with a wand?
No.
Of course you are. Welcome to Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, which is coming out June 24th. And it will have rugby.
Will it have Zika virus?
Whatever.
Finally, Nintendo took a second to more fully explain what's going on with Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Yeah, I'm actually
Since the
curious
game's original unveil made people tear off their own skin.
As they do. Metroid Prime series producer Kensuke Tanabe took to the stage to basically say, whoa, you all didn't really get a good idea of what's going on. So essentially the entire segment tries to explain why the game isn't centered on Samus.
Right.
And goes a little deeper into the mechanics of the game.
Basically, he got up and apologized for his video game.
He doesn't really need to, honestly. So apparently the game has a multiplayer focus in which each Federation soldier man picks a gear layout up to a certain weight class. This means that some players will be damage dealing and others will function more as a healer. I mean, it's class-based, right?
Yeah,
Makes
that
sense.
that makes total
It's
sense.
got a Metroid Prime sticker slapped on it.
Yeah, fundamentally, it sounds like the same problem Nintendo had with Star Fox Zero. It's a different kind of game paired with a brand that is laden with expectations. It doesn't sound like Nintendo's willing to rework this game to make it more like Metroid, though. So you better get used to it, nerd.
They're kind of doing it with the whole Cloverfield 10 lane thing.
Yeah.
It's not really a Cloverfield thing.
They just turned it into-
They have a popular. They can't just call it a new thing.
Yeah.
So just slap a title that they have while they're working on the next Metroid. It makes sense. You might not like it. I mean, I can see why you'd be mad about it though.
Lawrence, why is it fun, though?
It looks like a fun game. I like multiplayer shooters. I like cooperative multiplayer shooters. It's like Left 4 Dead, but you're a Metroid man running around shooting missiles at gamers and shit.
So it makes sense though, right? It's been a long time since we've seen a Metroid Prime game.
True, yeah.
So when you say Metroid Prime and then this is what releases, people get mad.
Of course, because they wanted another Metroid game.
I get it. It's okay.
Yeah, that about wraps it up for the big headlines. Oh shit, there was a new Paper Mario. Paint things with your hammer, just like hammers do.
Joel, thoughts?
Yeah.
There wasn't. There was not any info about the next fucking Zelda game. Lawrence kicked over a chair. Saw him do it.
Yeah, well, I kicked it, but it was a rolly chair, so it just rolled. So then I had to grab it with my hands and throw it over, just to make my point.
Yeah.
It's possible Nintendo's saving all the Zelda info for E3, which
they
is
are.
just 3 months away at this point.
Absolutely true.
That also plays into the idea that this Zelda might be a Wii U Nintendo NX crossover title.
Oh!
I know. So they did this before. They did this with the launch of the Wii. Twilight Princess. It got delayed until it was essentially a launch title for the Wii.
Helps.
People argue about how well that turned out. I don't really care. NX sounds cool, even though we haven't really heard anything about it. But this E3 is supposed to be when they're unveiling the NX. It's also hopefully when they're going to talk about Zelda. So hopefully that all lines up pretty nice and neat for Nintendo.
As always, here on the Know, we leave you with the question: what do you think about catering to Joel's needs?
We'll have to all tide ourselves over with Hyper J-Pop Action Go Cute Adventure until we get the new Zelda game. All right, Lawrence?
I'm going to play that. I'm gonna be the best J-pop idol in the world.
Sonic and Mario are going to Rio.
Wow, look at Lawrence.
Oh!
Look at me looking at
I'm
Lawrence.
on the set. I'm a no man. I'm a no
You see that somebody made a
man.
gif out of you dancing?
I did.
You were dancing?
Didn't get a lot of upvotes.
Ooh,
Hey, look at that! You can see my hand.
that's no good.
There's one corner here that's infinitely recursive, and that's awesome.
Oh, it's like a Sabaro's pizza.
Nothing is like Sabaro's pizza
Yeah,
other
that's
than
true.
Sabaro.
No, Cece's pizza is like Sbarro's
No
pizza.
way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shakey's pizza is like Sbarro.
No way. Shakey's is like Cece's.
And then
Sabaro's is like dumpster New York pizza.